Welcome everyone. Today we'll be doing a home practice and you're going to need your 2 yoga blocks, your yoga strap, 1 blanket at minimum, but maybe more if you're planning on doing Sarvangasana at the end, and some space at the wall. Alright, we're going to start with our legs crossed in Svastikasana, moving the flesh away from the buttock bones. Crossing the legs well at the shins, seeing that the knees are in line with the hips. Pressing the fingertips down by the sides of the hips. Raise the spine upwards. Roll the outer corners of the shoulders back to spread the chest. Feeling those back ribs moving deep into the front of the chest. And then bring your eyes to eye level. Soften the tops of the shoulders down away from the ears. Draw the navel back gently towards the spine so you're not puffing the abdomen forward. And with your eyes looking straight ahead, begin to soften the inner and outer corners of the eyes and close them completely. Smooth and soft inhalation, smooth and soft exhalation. Now fold your palms in the center of the chest in Namaskarasana. Roll the outer corners of the shoulders back, point the elbows down, and from the back ribs lift the sternum up towards the thumbs. With an exhalation, bow your head towards the heart. Surrender your practice towards your heart. Release your hands down, raise the chin upwards, and softly open your eyes. Stretch out through your legs. I'm going to start in a supported Paryankasana with bricks. I'm going to show the classical pose, but you're welcome to do this pose with legs straight instead of the legs in Virasana. Setting up my bricks, 1 for the thoracic spine, 1 for the back of the head. Positioning my legs in Virasana, sitting the buttocks in between the feet, and then coiling the back ribs in. As I come down, placing that first brick for the shoulder blades, second brick for the back of the head. Arms out by your sides. Now if you're with straight legs, that first brick is most likely going to be on the medium aspect, not the highest aspect, and you can adjust as needed. Move the flesh of the buttocks towards the knees or the heels. Roll the outer corners of the shoulders back. And for these first few moments, observing what comes up. Is there a discomfort against that brick on the upper thoracic? Is it resisting that brick? Find out if the breath feels caught or if it can move freely into that armpit chest. Is this a welcome release? And you can close the eyes here or find a soft space on the ceiling to gaze at. Taking a few moments to begin to use gravity to open that upper thoracic. Every inhale, lifting the back body up away from the brick. Every exhale, letting gravity take the outer corners of the shoulders down towards the floor. Begin to tune into those breaths here. They may feel more shallow, especially with that brick on the back body. But observe if you can feel that breath now moving into the armpit chest. And seeing if rather than just letting the breath live in the armpit chest, you can feel the breath from the base of the abdomen spreading up through the ribs to the armpit chest. All right, now that we've quieted ourselves in the asana, going to begin to lengthen the arms. So taking the arms overhead, stretching the arms overhead. You can open your eyes now. Open through the armpits. You'll feel the back ribs move in even more away from that brick. And then fold the forearms, grabbing for opposite forearms, opposite elbows. Opening the chest even more. Release the arms down, back by your sides. We're going to do that one more time, stretching the arms up and over, reaching through those fingertips, and then grabbing for opposite elbow, opposite forearm, letting your forearms hang just overhead, coiling those back ribs and lengthening the back of the neck. And release. Arms back by your sides. Okay, we're coming out. So bring your hands by the sides of the hips, either by the hips or on your heels if you're doing Virasana, and then pressing down through the palms, lift up from the center of the chest as if that brick on the back body has lifted you up as well. Just look straight ahead for a few moments, and then one by one we're going to release the legs. Stretch out through the legs. Open the backs of the knees. If your legs are already straight, sit in Dandasana. Sit up nice and tall. Okay, now I'm going to turn around and come into Adho Mukha Virasana. We're going to use those bricks, one for each hand. So I'm taking the bricks as wide as my mat, wider than shoulder width distance apart. I'm going to use a blanket to support my head. When we raise the arms, we're going to have to raise the head too. Okay, so a blanket for the forehead, bricks for the palms. Separating my knees, just enough for the trunk to come in between the thighs. I hinge forward, forehead on the blankets, and I stretch out through my palms. Arms are active. Sides of the trunk are long. Now, as I push my palms into the bricks, I turn the upper arms from the inside out, and I move the back ribs in. That same place where the brick was, I'm moving that space in. Forehead on the blanket, eyes soft and quiet. Sit the buttocks back towards the heels. And take a couple deep and full inhalations, deep and full exhalations. This time aerating the back body. So inhaling through the nose, filling the back of the abdomen, the back of the shoulder blades, the backs of the ribs. And exhaling, letting the abdomen sink into the thighs even more. Arms are active. Couple more breaths here. Keep the arms straight, spine lengthening. Okay, and slowly make your way up to seated. Okay, we're shifting to the wall. So pull your mat to the short end of the mat to a wall. Bricks can be off to the side, blanket off to the side. And we're gonna do downward facing dog with our heels up the wall. So start about a third down from your mat. Spread your fingers nice and wide. Palms are shoulder width distance apart. Thumb away from the index finger, away from the little finger. Spread the palms well. Elbows straight. Turn the upper arms from the inside out, already setting the shoulder blades in place, and then tuck your toes under and lift the knees up. Bring your heels to the wall. Now, once your heels find the wall, adjust the feet so that they're shoulder width distance apart. Try it on where you are with your hands. And if it feels like the right distance, stay. Otherwise, I'm seeing that I need to go a little wider. Go wider if you need to. Most likely, you'll need to go wider, not narrower. Bend your knees. Press your heels into the wall to straighten those legs, beginning to get active legs. Shake your head a little bit, releasing the sides of the neck, letting the head be a weight, but be strong with those arms, pressing the palms in towards the floor, lengthening through the sides of the ribcage, lifting the buttocks up. Keep opening the backs of the legs on the wall. Smooth inhalation, smooth exhalation. Yes, you can stay here. No problem with those inhalation breaths and those exhalation breaths. Nice work. And down you come, rest in child's pose, buttocks back to the heels, arms can be soft, let them go for a few moments. Inhale, up you come. All right, we're gonna do Supta Padangusthasana 1. Stay at the wall, just bring your strap, open it up all the way. Taking our feet to the wall. We're just doing Supta Padangusthasana 1, so you don't need to have room out to the sides. All right, feet are at the wall. I have lengthened the buttocks towards the heels. I'm rolling the outer corners of the shoulders down towards the floor. And I'm pressing my thighs down and opening my feet onto the wall. Now bend my right knee into the chest. Draw the right thigh close in towards the abdomen. As I bring that right knee in, I'm pressing the left thigh down, already getting that length in the front of the left hip flexor. And then hook the strap around the right foot, stretch the right leg up, 2, straight. Ideally around 90 degrees, but everybody is going to be different here. So take your time, get that right leg to straighten. Shoulders down away from the ears. Grip the strap with 2 hands. They don't have to be straight, but keep the arms apart so that the chest doesn't close off. You can still breathe while you're in the pose. All right, now as you arrive, the right leg starts to begin to feel that stretch from the right buttock through the back of the knee, through the heel. Press the left thigh down, keeping the left leg alert and active as well. And then soft and steady inhalations, soft and steady exhalations, coming into the pose. And then once you're there, beginning to add that little bit of extra, intensifying the asana. So although we're still, relatively still, can you keep your mind completely locked into those legs, stretching that right heel up to the ceiling, pressing the left thigh down to the floor, and finding that smooth and steady inhale, smooth and steady exhale. Remove that tension in the face, remove that tension in the jaw. And be present here. This is the challenging part, is being present in the more stationary poses. All right, finally apply that last little bit of effort, seeing what comes, finding your edge. And let's release that right leg down Extend it out nice and long next to the left leg. It might feel like it's longer, like it's pushing into the wall. Okay, let's do the left side. Bend the left knee into the chest. Already as you bend the left knee, press the right thigh down. And now hook the strap around that left foot. Stretch the left leg up towards the ceiling, right around 90 degrees. Do your best to get that left leg nice and straight, shoulders down away from the ears. Now as you stretch up through the left leg, press that right thigh down. Make the right leg firm and steady. Okay, so give this left side time to arrive, beginning to feel that length, not just in the back of the knee, not just around the calf, but in the hamstring from the left buttock bone through the back of the knee, feeling that there. Turn the left thigh inwards and little by little begin to apply that small amount of effort. Let it be slow and steady. Inhaling to give a little effort, exhaling to pause, and let the leg adjust. Let the body let go a little bit with those exhales. Again, palms are apart, chest is open, eyes open. Smooth and steady effort. Right leg is firmly pressing down. Last few moments, seeing what you can get out of that left leg. All right, and release that left leg down. Extend it out along the right. Let's take a nice stretch through the arms, reaching those fingers overhead, scrubbing the fingernails on the floor, pressing the feet in towards the wall. Bring your hands back down by your sides. All right, going to do a little bit of work for the abdominals, just a tiny bit. So bend your knees, feet flat on the floor. Draw the knees in towards the chest. Make your legs as if they're one leg. So inner thighs, inner knees, inner ankles glued together. And then before you straighten the legs up to the ceiling, draw those hip bones into center. Give that nice hug through the abdomen, that transverse abdominis, as if you're closing that hair clip right in the very lowermost part of the abdomen. Engage that piece and stretch your legs up to 90 degrees. Use your strap if you need to. If the legs are wavering, use your strap. Now it's easier to go more than 90 because it bypasses the work of the abdomen. So if that's happening to you, push your legs back to 90 degrees. Roll the thighs inwards, reach through those inner heels, draw the hip bones into center, roll the shoulders back and down towards the floor. Smooth inhalation and smooth exhalation. You should be able to breathe here. Unless you're talking like me, you might have a shorter breath because it is effort. Now, if you're steady here, I'm going to take the arms overhead, reaching through the fingers. If this is too much, you stay with your strap, you stay with the hands down by the hips. Smooth inhalation, smooth and quiet exhalation, still using the abdominal muscles, not letting the hip flexors take over completely, not letting the legs take over completely, letting the abdominal muscles be that hug to hold everything in place. Okay, bring the arms down, bend your knees into the chest, draw the thighs close into the abdomen. Catch your breath if you were holding it, but you weren't, just I was talking, so that's why my breath got short. And then release the feet down. Gonna do it one more time. Stay with the layers that work best for you. So stay with the strap if you need to, stay with the legs still if you need to. I'm gonna start moving the legs for those that are ready. Again, knees into the chest. Draw that transverse abdominis in, hug that transverse abdominis in by drawing those hip bones into center, and then take the legs up to 90 degrees. Roll the thighs inwards, make your legs poker stiff. Shoulders rolling down towards the floor. Core is engaged in a way that feels stable, yet you're still able to breathe. All right, hands are gonna stay down this time. Press your palms down to stabilize.
On your next exhalation breath, you're going to lower the legs from 90 to 60 degrees. Breathe and inhale, bring them back up to 90. Okay, we're going to do this a few times. Oops, that was more than 90. So on your next inhale, lengthen, and on your exhale, lower the legs to that 60 degree mark. Inhale, bring the legs back up to 90. Again, exhale, lowering through the legs. Inhale, bringing them back up to 90. Few more. Using those exhalation breaths to get there, maintaining that hug of the abdomen as you move. We're going to do 3 more. Go slow so that you can maintain that good quality effort of the abdominal muscles. And last one. Try not to just swing the legs, but rather reach them out and back up. Okay, bend your knees, release your feet to the floor or give yourself a nice hug. And then finally, feet come down to the floor. Rock the knees from side to side, giving that lower back a little release. If it was gripping, the lower back and the abdomen are partners, so they work together, but hopefully the abs are doing most of the work. Again, one more time to each side. And finally, we're going to come all the way up to seated. Okay, back into that downward facing dog with the heels at the wall. So I'm starting again, spreading my palms, tucking my toes under, coming up. Elbows straight, sides of the trunk long, bend your knees and lift the buttocks up, opening the backs of the legs on the wall. Shake the head yes and no, releasing the crown of the head down, and keep stretching up through those buttock bones, lengthening the sides of the abdomen. Can you push the thighs back away from the abdomen as you stretch the arms nice and straight? Smooth inhales, smooth and quiet exhales. Beginning to feel more integrated, more steady in the arms and legs now as we get warmer and warmer. Bend your knees, step forward towards your hands. Put the hands onto the waist, point the elbows back behind you, and come up to standing. All right, come to stand in the center of your mat. You can come away from the wall now. We're going to get ready for some standing poses. So straps can go back and bring your bricks over to your mat. We'll meet in Tadasana. Okay, feet together in Tadasana. Spread the toes. Reach back through the heels. Open through the soles of the feet. Lift up on the kneecaps. Stretch up through the crown of the head, roll the shoulders back, reach the fingers down, and gaze ahead quietly. Soft and steady inhales, soft and steady exhales. We're going to do Virabhadrasana 2. Bring your hands to center, bend your knees, step or jump your feet nice and wide apart. Nice wide stance with the legs, stretch the arms out to the sides. Now turn your right toes out, 90 degrees, turn the back toes in. Stamp the outer edge of the left foot into the floor, bend your right knee, and sit the right buttock down, 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 lengthening the inner right thigh through the inner right knee, lifting up tall through the spine, stretching from the left buttock back through that left heel, and then shoulders away from the ears, turn your gaze and look over at those front fingers. Steady inhalation, steady exhalation while in the asana. And let's change, press into your back heel, straighten the front leg, turn your feet back to center. Let's do the second side. Turn your left toes out. Turn your back toes in. Stamp your right heel down. Reach with your right wrist and bend your left knee. Lengthening that left thigh towards the left knee, sitting the left buttock down, down, down. Shoulders down away from the ears. Be strong in that right leg and turn and look over your front fingers. Steady with the gaze, soft with the face, but intensity there in those arms and those legs, feeling that body getting warmer and warmer every moment we're in this warrior two pose. Let's change, straighten through the front knee, turn your feet to parallel, step or jump your feet together, arms down. All right, gonna repeat. Bring your hands to center, bend your knees, step or jump your feet nice and wide apart. Not gonna say too much in this second time. Turn the feet and exhale, down you come. And let's change, straighten the front knee, turn your feet to parallel. Second side, turn the left toes, turn the back toes in. Down you come. And out you come, straighten through the front leg, turn your feet to parallel, step or jump your feet back together, recover in Tadasana. Release those shoulders down, lengthen through the arms, and stand upright. Eyes steady, gaze soft. Now we're going for Utthita Parshvakonasana. Brick to the right side of the mat if you need it. Bring your hands to center, bend your knees. Take the arms wide, legs wide, right back to where we left off into that Virabhadrasana 2. So right leg out to the right, left leg out to the, turning in slightly. Bend your right knee, sit down and form a square. Bring the left hand onto the hip, reach up with your right arm and extend the right arm out. Bring it down towards the outer edge of the right foot. You can have it on a brick there. Now stamp your back heel down, fix this left hip in place. Already turning the abdomen, ribs, and chest from right to the left, and then take that left arm over your ear, palm facing down, upper arm in line with the ear, turning the trunk from right to the left. Strong in the back leg, strong in that front leg, of course. And then out you come, reach up through the top arm, straighten through that front leg. After coming up, turn your feet back to center. Let's do the left side. Turn the left foot leftwards, turn the back toes in, stamp that back heel down, bend your front knee to sit down and form a square. Sit down, down, down with the right hand onto the waist. Keep reaching out with the left arm. Bring the left hand down to the outer edge of the foot or on a brick. Now glue the left knee to the left upper arm, tuck the left buttock forward and turn the abdomen, ribs, and chest from left to the right. Roll the right shoulder back. Once you've turned the trunk, press that right foot down, fix the right hip in place, and stretch that right arm over your ear. Turn and look up at the inner belly of the right eye. Smooth inhalation, smooth and quiet exhalation. Inhale, all the way up you come. Straighten that front knee, turn your feet to parallel. Step or jump your feet together. Arms down. Recover in Tadasana. Okay, we're gonna do it one more time. Bring your hands to center, bend your knees. Step or jump your feet nice and wide apart. Go wide with those legs, wide with the arms. Right foot out to the right, back toes in. This time we're coming down in one sweep. So I bend the front knee, reach the bottom arm down, take the top arm over my ear, and I'm there in the pose. Clean it up along the way. Right buttock forward, left hip back. Stamp your back heel down, reach through the fingers. And let's change, reach through that top arm, straighten the front leg, turn your feet back to center. Left side, a little quicker this time. Turning the left toes out, turning the back toes in, bend the front knee, and reach the bottom arm down, top arm over the ear. Be in the pose, knee directly over the ankle, back heel nice and strong, lengthen through the crown of the head and turn the trunk up to the ceiling. That second time around, it's always like you don't really want to do it, but once you're there, it is amazing to be in that pose. Inhale, come up, straighten the front leg, turn your feet to parallel, step or jump to feet back together, arms down. Now I'm going to take a rest in Uttanasana after that pose, so feet as wide as the mat. Grab for opposite elbows, opposite forearms, and exhale, hinge forward, releasing the crown of the head down. Option to take the hands on bricks or hands on the wall for Ardha Uttanasana. Change the grip of the forearms, cooling yourself, quieting yourself here. And now hands onto the hips, point the elbows back behind you, and come all the way up to standing. Okay, we're going to do one more standing pose. That's Parsvottanasana. I'm going to do the classic pose. Feel free to take bricks for your hands and do the concave or bringing your hands down to bricks. All right, so stand in Tadasana at the center of the mat. Fix your hands into Paschimana Namaskara, or grab for opposite forearms, opposite elbows, or hands on hips. Roll the heads of the shoulders back, lengthen the elbows down, press the forearms towards the thumbs. Now bend your knees, step or jump your feet nice and wide apart. Nice wide stance of the legs. Now I turn my right foot out, I turn my back toes in quite a lot, and I'm rotating my hips to face the short end of the mat on the right. Seal the inner edge of the front foot down, outer edge of the back foot down. Bring that left hip even more forward, right hip even more back, and then tailbone in. Lift the navel up, lift the sternum up, lift the chest up, look up as I point the elbows down, and exhale, hinge forward at the crease of the hips. Now watch, as you come forward, you have to grip that transverse abdominis. That abdominal work comes into play to stabilize you here as you extend forward. Keep cutting the back ribs in, keep pulling the elbows back. Try not to let that front knee bend. That is my tricky, challenging part. And finally, release your forehead towards the shin any amount. Smooth inhalation, smooth exhalation, surrendering there. Press into your back heel. Inhale, lift your spine up into those little fingers. Look up at the top. And then eyes back to center. Turn your feet to parallel. All right, let's do that second side so that your feet are in line with each other. Fix your hands if you need to, your bricks, do what you need to do. And then let's do the second side. Turn your left toes out, turn your back toes in, revolving the hips to face the short end of that on the left. Seal the inner edge of the left foot down, outer edge of the back foot down. Compact those hips, so right hip forward, left hip up and back. Tailbone in, lift the pubic bone up, lift the navel up, lift the sternum up, cut the back ribs in with those little fingers on the back body and pull the elbows down as you look up. Exhale, hinge forward at the crease of the hips. Keep drawing that transverse abdominis, that hip bones into center to stabilize as you come forward. Keep cutting the back ribs in, pulling the elbows back. Extend through the sides of the trunk. And finally, release the forehead towards the shin. Trying to keep that front leg straight. It's the challenging part. When you bend forward, you can let go of that grip of the abdomen. Okay, we're coming out. Press into your back heel. Lift the spine up into those little fingers. Raise the chest up. Look up at the top. And then eyes back to center. Turn your feet to parallel. Step your feet back together. And arms down. Smooth inhalation, smooth and quiet exhalation. Let's come to the top of our mat. Feet hips width apart. Raise the arms up, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, hinge forward at the crease of the hips, Uttanasana. Oops. And bend your knees to step back into Adho Mukha Svanasana. Take your feet as wide as the mat, palms as wide as the mat. Sorry, I lost my headphones. And stretch through the arms, through the legs. Keep lifting the buttocks up. Keep pushing the thighs back. Quieting down. Now you can close your eyes if that's feeling natural and comfortable. Cooling down here in Adho Mukha Svanasana. And now bend your knees. Bring your buttocks back towards the heels. Coming to rest in child's pose. Let the elbows be slightly bent. Forehead resting on the mat. And take a few recovery breaths. Let the abdomen melt into the thighs. Let the back body rest. Squash those legs, letting them rest after those standing poses. Now inhale slowly, up you come. All right, we're going to do Bhargavajasana, seated. So bring your blanket to your mat. You may need something else or something more besides just one blanket, but you can start with one. And sitting in Dandasana, I'm going to support we'll support the left buttock with the blanket, and I'm sweeping my legs over to the right. Okay, so my left buttock is up onto the blanket, and I've swept my legs over to the right so that the right ankle rests in the left arch of the foot. Okay, so we're turning to the left. I think I mixed this up, but that's okay. We're gonna go to the left first. Now reach up with the arms, open through the armpits. And one more thing before we twist, the hip bones, we're going for level. So if that one blanket is not enough, then take some more. If you're up really high, have a brick behind you to reach for. Stretch up with the arms, reach up to the sides of the trunk. As I stretch up with the arms, I release this right buttock further down to the floor. And then on the exhale, I turn to the left. Roll that left shoulder back. Turn the abdomen from right to the left. Then the ribs, then the chest. Turning with every inhale to lift and lengthen, every exhale to turn. Eyes are soft and quiet. Gaze is steady. The eyes, chin, and throat are the last to turn. Watch this right shoulder that doesn't hike up towards the ear. Keep the right shoulder down. Move the right armpit just forward as you turn from right to the left. And release. Out you come. Unwind, unravel, stretch out through the legs. Let's go for the second side. So come out from that blanket. Now you're gonna put it under that right buttock, sweeping the legs over to the left, resting your left ankle in the right arch of the foot, and you're not sitting on your feet. Your left hip is going down into that space in between the blanket and the floor. And now stretch up with the arms, open through the armpits, keeping the left buttock down to the floor as best as you can. Turn towards the right.
Right hand behind you, either on the brick or the floor. Left hand on the outer edge of the right thigh. Turn the abdomen from left to the right. Turn the ribs, turn the chest, roll that right shoulder back. Bring the left armpit chest forward, soft and steady inhale. Soft and steady exhale. Finally, the eyes are the last thing to turn. Release, out you come. Release the eyes, release the trunk. Stretch out through the legs. We're going to go again to each side. So let's set up the turn towards that left side, supporting that left buttock onto the blanket or whatever you're using, enough support to keep the hips as level as possible. A bolster might be good. Sweep the legs over towards the right. Stretch up with the arms. Resist that right hip down and exhale. Turn towards the left. Lift up tall through the crown of the head. Exhale, turn and turn and turn. And this time when you've turned to the maximum with the trunk, take your gaze and look over that right shoulder. And release, release the head, release the trunk, out you come. Stretch out with the legs. All right, second side, last side for this one. I'm supporting that right buttock, sweeping my legs over to the left now. And then descending the left hip down, reach up with my arms. Exhale, turn and turn and turn. Lift up tall through the crown of the head. And then turn the abdomen, turn the ribs, turn the chest. When you've turned the trunk to the maximum, take your gaze and look over that left shoulder. Shoulder down, away from the ear. And then gently release, release the head, release the trunk. Stretch out through the legs in Dandasana. All right, let's take a quick Upavishta Konasana, widening through the inner heels, stretching out through the legs, lifting up tall through the crown of the head, roll the shoulders back, reach through those inner corners of the heels to the corners of your room. Let the lower back spread, abdomen spread. And now one by one, bring the feet into Baddha Konasana. Soles of the feet coming in close towards the perineum. Sit up on some height if you need to, lengthening the thighs towards the knees. If your knees are coming up high, then a brick or a blanket under the buttocks is going to help in preventing that lower spine from sinking down into the floor and still getting that extension. So the props are there to enhance and assist and make sure that the spine is getting all the length it deserves and needs here. Okay, a couple more moments in Baddha Konasana. You can take the hands back behind you, letting the inner edges of the feet press into each other, big toe mounds away from each other, lifting up tall through the crown of the head. Okay, now draw your knees into center, press your feet down to the floor. Draw your knees in, lifting up through the chest, through the lower spine, and release. All right, we're gonna do Chaturpadasana in preparation for our inversion. So, lie on your back, walk your feet out just so that you can touch your heels with your middle finger, your longest finger, each heel in line with the buttock. Hold the outer edges of the mat, press your heels down into the floor, and lift the buttocks up. Lift up enough so that you feel the buttocks, the glutes, and maybe a bit of the backs of the thighs engaging, but I don't want you to lift up so much that you feel the lower back
working. The lower back is just going along for the ride. Exhale, release the hips down. The second time, we're going to take the shoulders underneath us. Press through the heels, lift the buttocks up, and now interlace your hands underneath you. Draw the tops of the shoulders down to the floor, lift the buttocks up. Press the heels down. Exhale, release our hips down. You can release the arms last time. Press through the heels, lift the buttocks up. Come onto the tops of those shoulders one by one, lifting the hips up. All the work in those buttocks and those heels and those strong, sturdy legs. And release our hips down towards the floor. Good. Okay, turn to your side and we're going to set up for our inversion. So do the inversion that you're comfortable with, whether it's Salamba Sarvangasana, Chair Sarvangasana, Setubandha Sarvangasana. I'm going to demonstrate Chair Sarvangasana today. Feel free to pause the video and take your time to set up as needed. Bringing the tops of my shoulders to that bolster. Sacrum on the chair. Holding the back rungs of the chair. If you're comfortable in your inversion, you can close your eyes to begin to cool and quiet down. Don't look left or right, just look straight ahead or eyes closed. It's not good to turn the head when you're in the inversion. Becoming cooler and letting the breath deepen and slow down. Taking your time getting into the pose. And knowing when it's time to come out for your body. Using that discretion and that discernment, which is so important in our asana practice. Let the breath move into the armpit chest freely, without effort. If the legs are upright, you have to actively stretch them. But see if your effort can be almost as if they're on autopilot. All right, now if you're in an upright inversion, you can begin to make your way out. Bringing your feet to the edge of the backrest of the chair, letting the knees open into Baddha Konasana. drawing your knees gently into center, sliding off your chair or coming out of your inversion. Excuse me. And resting where you are for a few moments when you come out. All right, and then slowly beginning to transition into your final Shavasana. Take what you need to rest comfortably and quietly in Shavasana.
I'm going to take a blanket for my head and a bolster for under the backs of the thighs.
Adjust yourself, lengthening the back of the skull away from the back of the neck, tucking the shoulder blades underneath you so the chest is spreading. Palms turned up to the ceiling by your sides. Release the inner seams of the legs, release the inner ankles. And then close your eyes completely. Letting go everywhere. Letting go of every limb. Sinking deeper into the earth. And letting yourself be held there. Take as much time as you'd like in Shavasana. And as you're ready, bring your hands towards your trunk. Bend your knees. Again, you don't have to join. If you're quiet, stay there. Be there for as long as you wish.
When you come up, find a comfortable seat, resting your back against the wall. Finding gratitude for your body, for your mind, making time, and for nourishing yourself with your asana practice. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Namaste.